Welcome to the Fleet Geeks podcast. We're here to help develop fleet and transport professionals. Do you want to progress and develop your skills and knowledge? We promise to bring lively conversation and debate around interesting issues and keep you bang up to date with changes in our awesome industry. The Fleet Geeks are a community of professionals, and if you enjoyed the podcast, why not join the discussion for free in the Fleet Geek community over on Facebook?
Mike, it's like the first one since Jamie left.
It is.
Dun, dun, dun.
It is. And I think that one's gone out, hasn't it? So, yeah, dear listener, there's a chair. There's an empty chair in the building.
There is very much an empty chair.
Yeah, definitely.
But hopefully there's not any radio silence, though. Empty silence.
No. And no, Jay's do. I did message him the other day over a fuel card issue. No. Oh, hi, Jay. How you doing? I hope the job's going well. By the way, what's the fuel card number for the? But no, he's doing all right. Apparently, so he's doing good. So we will hear from him shortly, I'm sure, and I'm sure we'll have him back on as a guest contributor before very much longer.
Yeah, absolutely, we need to line some guests up, I reckon, mate. So people don't get fed up at the sound of our voice. What do you reckon? I've
got a couple lined up. We'll So look forward to a slight change of pace, really, isn't it? We're going to invite some guest speakers on, or not guest speakers, but guest or co-presenters. I think that's the thing.
Cheeky little co-host. Sneak a
little co-host in there.
A bit like how we've done the rebranding safety one recently. If people haven't listened, that went out recently. Rebranding safety podcast. Mike, Jamie, and myself took it over, didn't we, with James McPherson, which was a good bit of fun for that podcast. Anyway, so today we are here to talk about that advert. Have you seen it on Facebook? That advert saying, pass your transport manager CPC, salary of £100,000 plus.
Yes. Where do we apply then? Yeah. Let me just my CV off, and I think you were doing exactly the same thing, weren't you?
I was about to shut Flagship down. Yeah. Literally dissolve the company. Go and take that. I'll tell you what, a 6-figure salary for an employed transport manager role. That is that's some going, that, isn't it?
There is artistic license, isn't there? There is artistic license in all these things, and I guess the idea of advertising is that you're trying to sell the good points, aren't you? And if you're going to try to sell a transport manager course that will get you into that sort of sphere of salaries, then you're not going to sort of say 15 grand and a big apple. You're going to go the whole hog. But £100,000, come on, where did that come from?
Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. And so I made a bit of a boo-boo, really, or I felt I made a bit of a boo-boo, but even now I still feel a bit conflicted about it, because this advert came out, and if you haven't seen it, it is from a local competitor of Flagship Partners. I think they went quite heavy on their advertising spend. They've put an ad out which says, pass your transport manager CPC with them, basically, earn a salary of £100,000 plus, and they're accredited by the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, which said there was a few things going on with that certainly gripped my shit a little bit, which was namely that they'd kind of put an outrageous advert out there and kind of sullied the name of the Chartered Institute. I'm not sure how Beverly Bell would have taken that as one of the... I think she's the chair.
President or something like that, yeah.
She's certainly a senior leader in the Chartered Institute. I'm not sure Beverly would have been too keen on being associated with that kind of outrageous
She may well have noticed it. She may well have noticed it. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I can't let on. I can't say no more than that. Secret squirrel stuff. But yeah.
Okay. So what we have seen since, so I screenshot it and shared it in a Facebook group, and I've kind of been a bit conflicted since, because I feel like that kind of practice in the industry should be held to account. And on the other hand, I thought, am I that guy? So I don't really know what the right thing to do was about it, but they've certainly changed their ways, haven't they? It's been edited now to 50,000 plus.
So 50% pay cut overnight,
which is significant, but it's still a significant salary.
It's still a big salary, isn't it?
It's a very significant salary for a transport manager role. Ultimately, I think people have to remember, we always say it's a level 3 qualification, and it is whilst it is not easy to get the qualification, it's equivalent to an A-level, isn't it? And I think there's not many A-level students that would come out and get salaries like this either, would there? There's plenty of degree people that are earning half that when they come out of their degree.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you think what a trainee doctor earns, or even the starting pay for a police constable isn't anywhere near that. So
it's half of that.
I'm sure they can progress to that, and I think that's the key to the advert. Is could you possibly progress to £100,000 salary, or even a £50,000 salary as a transport manager? Well, I suppose if lucky enough to sort of your career goes sort of stellar and all the rest of it, but I don't know many transport managers that earn 50, let alone £100,000. So
no, exactly. I definitely can't think of anyone that would be earning 100,000 in a role unless they were a director shareholder of a business and they were taking dividends of profit, in which case their role isn't necessarily just a transport manager.
No, absolutely
not.
No.
And the course isn't qualifying them to carry that role out either.
Yeah, they didn't suddenly become qualified overnight and then walk into £100,000. So yeah, I mean, I thought, number one, it could have been a typo, couldn't it? We don't know.
It could have been £10,000.
Yeah, an extra naught added on there.
Yeah, cheeky little extra zero.
So yeah, it could have been a typo. But I'm probably being a little bit kind there, aren't I? Saying it could have been a typo.
I'm a little bit more cynical than that.
Yeah,
I wonder how many courses they sold off the back of it.
Now, I think I'm going to be careful, choose my words here, but a lot of people in the industry where English might not be their first language. They've come to the UK. They want to progress. They want to get a career, which is great, and absolutely take my hat off to them. But English might not be their first language, and also the nuances of the industry might not be their what they understand. So that is the problem, isn't it? We laugh it off, but there will be some people who have read that advert and thought, that's the career for me, because if I can earn this kind of salary, that's fantastic, because they don't quite understand the nuances of where we are. So, yeah, I mean, I do wonder.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? I think, certainly the research that I've done, and certainly I remember when we did a webinar probably about 12 months ago now, not long after the launch of, well, it won't be 12 months ago, it was around the launch of the Fleet Geeks, so it'll be earlier this year now. And we surveyed the audience around pay and expectations, and certainly I believe the majority, the salary was coming in sort of in the 30 to 40,000 bracket was kind of the 80% of where people thought it was. Some people will be on under £30,000 because, I think an entry-level transport manager role, whether you got the qualification or not, is probably around the 25k mark, I would have thought. Yeah. And sort of it sort of pushes through from there. But I would certainly say once you're getting over the 40,000, you're probably moving into like a senior level role with potentially quite a lot of responsibility and hours that come with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
hi, it's Pete from Flagship Partners. We're really proud to sponsor the Fleet Geeks podcast. Flagship Partners offer a range of consultancy and training services to ensure that our customers remain compliant and have the best possible knowledge to be able to fulfill their work. If you're interested in support with any of our safety, HR or compliance services, or you want to train to be a transport manager or need driver CPC training, give us a call today.
The ethos we've got and we're building up here is the qualification is an entry level. So once you're into the qualification,
can you hear the dogs? I heard them coming through the earphones. Yeah, I know. Mags has brought the bloody dogs in, didn't she?
Yeah, we explain. We have a team meeting today, and the dogs are invited. So yeah,
we've got a couple of chihuahuas, Bella and Buster, barking their heads off.
Some might say in a team meeting involving us lot, that's just raised the intelligence level in the room by having a couple of dogs in it. But
particularly two chihuahuas.
I'm sure they'll contribute wisely to our team progress. But no, our ethos here is that the qualification is an entry level type thing, but we're here to support people to go beyond that, to take that to the next level, if you like, and to support them in their career progression. And I think that's the key thing. And you're not just going to get that pass certificate and walk into a job like that.
No, absolutely. I think when companies like they did advertise the role. I think it's very tricky now because there's a lot of drivers' salaries now because of the overtime and because of the hours. There's a lot of drivers out there who are probably kicking around the £1,000 a week mark. They're probably earning, 50 grand a week. They're working their bloody arses off Saturdays and and Sundays and early mornings and late nights and 15-hour shifts and all of that sort of jazz. Doing a rather, I wouldn't say that the job itself is challenging, but it's very much a big commitment of your life, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah,
it's very much a big commitment of your life, and I think the challenge that the company had when advertising the pay for the role, there's probably a lot of transport managers out there who are earning less than drivers, and they're probably trying to target drivers, and they had to put the salary as such so that it was an appealing.
Why would I give up driving at 50 grand a year to come and do?
To go and do transport management at 30.
Yeah.
But obviously, for some people, that will be a benefit because they might get a better home-life balance and a home-life balance, work-life balance, and all of that sort of thing. So, but certainly, I think, and I'd be interested to hear what listeners believe as well. But I would certainly say. They really need to review the way they advertise that, because even at 50,000, I think it's a little bit outrageous. I think overall, we as an industry, we should be looking at the salaries and making sure that people are paid according to their the value that they bring to their organisations. And the transport manager role is a critical part of that business. And whether people are self-employed on or employed on a salary, or working as self-employed external transport managers, there are plenty of people out there working for £100 or £200 a vehicle, and they're never going to be achieving numbers.
I mean, that was one of the things. A couple of people came back, didn't they, and said about that advert when we commented on it that an ETM could possibly earn £100,000, but I mean the advert clearly said salary, which kind of to me means somebody's going to pay you to turn up. I mean that's
and have your bank holidays off and your paid holidays and all of that stuff. All of that good stuff.
Even £100,000 for an ETM is far fetched.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can sort of speak from experience. When I started Flagship Business and Maggie and I were working in it, initially we were doing training, so we were doing driver CPC training, and we were doing first aid training additionally. In our first year, we turned over, and this is turnover, by the way, this isn't what we paid ourselves. We paid ourselves, close to minimum wage, or as near as damn it, and we didn't make a profit that year. But our first full year of trading, we turned over about £120,000, and that's publicly available information. But you got to imagine that's Maggie and I working. We were doing consultancy work, certainly, which was using my transport manager qualification, but we were also doing first aid training, which requires a lot of equipment, and we were an independent driver CPC centre. And I didn't deliver all of that training personally, so I was using people on day rate to carry out the work.
So it's not a salary, it's turnover is not a salary.
To blow that sort of number out of the water, we had, it wasn't just me, it was Maggie, me, and I had people working most weekends on our behalf to help us achieve that turnover. And obviously they need paying as well. So I do understand when people say, well, you might get a full-time person who's on a 35-hour contract and they're earning, I don't know, they might be really highly paid, and then they go and take on some self-employed work as part-time, for example, on a restricted operator, and that's, I suppose, how people will bump up that income.
Yeah.
But I must say that I think with what I know that operators are willing to pay, and to try and achieve that level on your own, and to take 4 weeks a year of holiday and take your bank holidays and all of that sort of stuff, I think there's far too much work there for one person.
For one person, yeah. And
I really think
and and I think that's probably how the TC would view that as well. And it's not just about what's on paper; it's what's achievable, isn't it? And I know a lot of transport ETMs do training, subsidise their ETM work with training, but myself, I know that I'm busy training, and do I really have the time to be an ETM whilst I'm out training? That's the question you've got to ask yourself. Have you got it's not just having the capacity on your, we all know that an ETM can work for 4 operators and 50 vehicles. But it's not just about what it looks like on paper, it's about what it looks like in reality. And in reality, if you haven't got the time to do that, then you're not going to earn the money as an ETM, are you?
You're absolutely right. And the principle is you can be on standard national or international for 4 operators and 50 vehicles, but ultimately you could top that up with 100 restricted operators licensed vehicles. Is that the right thing?
No, and you're going to get found out sooner or later. Something's going to go wrong, and you're going to get found out. So
yeah, absolutely. So I think we've busted that myth wide open there, Mike. What do you reckon?
Definitely, absolutely.
So fantastic. Thank you for listening, people, and we'll see you on the next one.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please share with your friends and colleagues too. Join us for free on Facebook with the Fleet Geeks community for transport and fleet managers. Fleet Geeks offers ongoing professional development, networking and mentoring too. So get in touch with me, Pete Rushmer, on any social media platform to find out more.